Cachalia and Mr. Kassel Matale, MEC of Mpumalanga, Mr. Masia, our host MEC, MEC Mare, MEC Nkata, MEC Matia, MEC Moreng, the Secretary of the Police Service, Mr. Sibuyi, the Acting National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, Lieutenant General Puleng Timpane, the heads of entities who are present, Deputy National Commissioners and Divisional Commissioners present, the Acting Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga, Major General Mkwanazi, representatives of SALGA, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Over the last 2 days, the second Police MINMEC for 2026 sat and marked a defining moment in the evolution of the reset agenda for the South African Police Service. This was not just another routine intergovernmental meeting. It has been a strategic decision-making platform that has institutionalized the implementation of a national reset agenda for policing as the common program of action of national, provincial, and local government. At the same time, this MINMEC reaffirmed the integrated crime and violence prevention strategy as the complementary national framework through which government will address the social, economic, and environmental drivers of crime. Together, these two frameworks provide South Africa with a comprehensive roadmap to improve policing, restore public confidence, strengthen the rule of law, and build safer communities. The police reset agenda is about restoring professionalism, integrity, accountability, discipline, operational excellence, and commitment to constitutionalism within the South African Police Service. It seeks to reposition the South African Police Service as a modern, intelligence-led, community-centered, and technology-enabled service that enjoys the confidence of our people. Today, I'm pleased to confirm that MECs and premiers responsible for community safety have unanimously endorsed the police reset agenda and committed themselves to driving its implementation across every province. This represents one of the strongest and progressive demonstrations of cooperative governance within the policing environment. The collective commitment sends a distinct message once again that police reform is not the exclusive responsibility of the South African Police Service, but the police service will embrace its responsibility. It remains a whole of government and whole of society endeavor that requires shared leadership, shared accountability, and coordinated implementation across all spheres of government with the support and active participation of our people. This MINMEC adopted a number of strategic resolutions that become national implementation priorities following this MINMEC. Firstly, we resolved that the police reset agenda will be implemented through an integrated partnership between national, provincial, and local government, recognizing that no single sphere of government can effectively address the country's crime challenges alone. Secondly, this MINMEC reaffirmed that sustainable safety cannot be achieved through law enforcement alone. Communities must become, once again, active partners in policing, crime prevention, and the promotion of social cohesion. Government will therefore strengthen community policing forums and deepen partnerships with civil society, the private sector, traditional leadership, faith-based organizations, and organized community structures. Thirdly, this MINMEC endorsed the implementation of the National Organized Crime Strategy, led by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, which is introducing a far more integrated, intelligence-driven, and multidisciplinary response to organized crime, illicit economies, and violent criminal syndicates operating across provincial boundaries. I can say, following statements I've made previously, that I believe we now have the right attributes of leadership, strategy, and resourcing to begin to make a meaningful impact on the dismantling of organized crime. We also heard from General Nkosi, the head of the DPCI, whose mandate is to fight organized crime. Fourthly, the MINMEC resolved to prioritize interventions in 140 high-crime police station precincts across the country. These stations will become the first implementation sites of the Reset Agenda, receiving targeted operational support, enhanced oversight, improved resource allocation, infrastructure upgrades, and rigorous performance monitoring. They will also serve as demonstration sites where communities begin to experience, we hope, measurable improvements in policing, service delivery, and safety. This MINMEC further agreed that the Civilian Secretariat for Police Service will strengthen its monitoring, evaluation, and oversight capability to ensure transparent reporting, evidence-based performance, management, and accountability. This was the original vision and embodied in our Constitution when it was adopted. I think sometime in this journey that we've traveled as a country, we lost sight of the importance of civilian oversight. We now have consensus that civilian oversight has to be restored to its proper place in the way we approach policing. We also adopted the development of a comprehensive 5-year implementation framework for Community Patrollers Program. There's still work to do, but we adopted that program. Substantial work has been done. The framework will clearly define the responsibilities of national, provincial, and local government while ensuring that proper governance, training, and accountability occurs. Community patrollers are intended to complement policing through increased visibility and stronger community partnerships, but not to replace police officers. Recognizing the devastating impact of alcohol-related crime and violence, MINMEC adopted a comprehensive national liquor action plan as an important crime prevention intervention. Its implementation will require closer collaboration across the justice, crime prevention and security cluster, the economic cluster, provincial liquor authorities and municipalities. And we welcome SALGA's commitment to integrating these interventions through the city's Safer Cities program. And the work that was presented in this MINMEC on liquor was the result of very detailed work, very thoughtful, impactful work, careful consultations with other departments, with all levels of government, to arrive at what is an action plan. We have to deal with the relationship between the abuse of alcohol consumption and provision and crime. MINMEC also acknowledged encouraging progress made under the National Gender Violence and Femicide Action Plan under the leadership of Deputy Minister of Police, Dr. Police. Once again, brilliant work has been done under the leadership of our Deputy Minister in this area, which is a national priority defined by the President. It's a scourge that has to be tackled. We are making another serious effort to improve our ability to deal with the scourge. The protection of women, children, and other vulnerable persons remains a national policing priority, requiring sustained investment in prevention, victim support, investigation, and prosecution. There again, you see the whole of government, whole of society approach. Finally, this MINMEC resolved that the implementation of the Integrated Crime and Violence Prevention Strategy must now be systematically evaluated to assess its impact, strengthen implementation where necessary, and ensure accountability across every sphere of government. When we met 5 months ago in the first MINMEC, that document, that Crime and Violence Prevention Strategy, was just something on paper. Now it has been adopted, fully institutionalized in the way we are going to approach the safety challenges in the country, across departments and across spheres of government. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, the police reset agenda is no longer simply a reform proposal made by the acting minister. It has entered an implementation phase. We've built the necessary consensus. We are in agreement on the way forward. MINMEC has endorsed a clear set of immediate priorities that will drive institutional renewal and operational improvement across the policing environment. Community safety mandate is championed by the provinces, including the reforms in the private security industry. These include strengthening ethical leadership and governance through enhanced integrity systems, rigorous vetting processes, lifestyle audits, stronger accountability mechanisms, and decisive consequence management. Management will continue to strengthen anti-corruption capabilities while reinforcing discipline and professionalism throughout the organization. MINMEC further endorsed the continued rebuilding of crime intelligence and detective capabilities as essential enablers of intelligence-led policing and proactive crime prevention. Technology and digital transformation will remain central pillars of the reset agenda. Work continues to modernize police stations, digitize policing systems, improve investigative capability, and strengthen information management. At the same time, procurement and supply chain reforms are being accelerated in partnership with the National Treasury to improve transparency, eliminate opportunities for corruption, and ensure that public resources are directed towards frontline policing. Implementation will initially focus on several operational priorities where communities expect immediate improvements. Improving police station performance and service delivery at 140 police stations, and those stations will be identified in consultation with and in agreement with the MECs. Strengthen intelligence-led policing and coordinated responses against organized crime. We must begin to see better results in the implementation of that strategy. Enhancing the policing response to gender-based violence and femicide, intensifying enforcement against illegal liquor outlets and alcohol-related crime, strengthening integrated responses to gang violence. We're never going to win against the gangs in the Western Cape until we address the underlying socioeconomic and problems in those communities. And we have to be committed to improved safety, and we have to be committed to improve well-being of the people in those affected communities. Expanding community policing and the structured rollout of the Community Patroller Program, improved monitoring, oversight and accountability across all spheres of government. These are practical interventions designed to produce measurable improvements that communities will experience at local police station level in their own communities. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, while today's resolutions establish the roadmap for policing reform, we are at the early stages. I'm encouraged that the implementation has already begun in several important areas, owing in no small measure to the energy and vision of our newly appointed Acting National Police Commissioner, General Dimpane. We are already witnessing the positive impact of strengthening intelligence-driven policing. Crime intelligence is steadily being repositioned as the nerve center of proactive policing, and this has contributed to significant operational success across the country through coordinated intelligence-driven operations targeting organized crime, violent offenders, illegal firearms, drug trafficking, and other priority crimes. The process of rebuilding institutional capacity is also well underway. This is not an uncomplicated or simple task that will be accomplished tomorrow or next week or in the following months. This is something that requires a focus in the country to long-term institutional reform. Critical funded vacancies are being filled across the organization, including strategic appointments within crime intelligence, operational policing and support environments to strengthen frontline policing and improve organizational capacity. And this is what has taken up much of the time of the National Commissioner over the last few months. As part of strengthening leadership and stabilizing command structures, the Acting National Commissioner, together with the premiers and MECs in the respective provinces, will soon announce the appointment of 4 provincial commissioners, which indicates an important milestone in restoring stability, accountability, and operational leadership within the organization, including this province. At the same time, targeted investment in the future of policing continues through Project 11,000. The recruitment process for a new intake of 5,500 police constables is progressing well, and these recruits will shortly commence training at SABC academies across the country, ensuring that additional capacity is introduced in the policing environment in the coming months. Other important reforms are also progressing, including improvements in governance, technology modernization, procurement reform, detective services, and consequence management. These developments demonstrate that the reset agenda is no longer merely aspirational or rhetorical. It is being translated into practical actions, measurable reforms, and tangible improvements to be expected across the policing environment over time. Ladies and gentlemen, our people expect more than commitment. They expect results. I understand that. They expect safer communities. We must be accountable. Above all, they expect a police service they can trust. The decisions adopted during this MINMEC send a clear and unequivocal message that we have moved decisively from diagnosis to implementation. Of critical importance is that we have agreed on a common national reform agenda. That precondition for any reform process is the essential starting point. We have established mechanisms for accountability, and importantly, implementation has already begun. Together with our provincial partners, municipalities, communities, and every dedicated member of the South African Police Service, we are laying the foundation for a police service that is professional, ethical, intelligence-led, technology-enabled, and firmly rooted in our constitutional values. So this is the time, even as we watch Madlanga every day, this is the time for the country to look ahead, to build a police service that fully expresses the feeling, the values, the aspirations of the South African people. the journey that we started upon 30 years ago has had some success, some failure, and we are now in a moment that requires a reset, a rethink about what kind of police service we want to build in the decades to come. So let's not just dwell on the problems. Let's commit to a positive vision to respond to those problems in a constructive, responsible way that honors our people and their aspirations. As we leave this platform and return to our respective areas of responsibility, let us do so with a renewed sense of purpose and a shared commitment to the people of South Africa. I said to the host MEC that we didn't make a mistake by coming to Mpumalanga, the land of the rising sun, to have this MINMEC, because what we are trying to do is to reach for the sun, to find the light within, the light among our people, the light that we can find in our history, which is one of resilience, of fortitude and aspiration. The resolutions we have adopted today will only have meaning if each one of us takes ownership of the role we must play in delivering safer communities, to restore public confidence, and to rebuild a professional, ethical, and capable police service that serves all our people, wherever they are, whatever their ethnicity, whatever their background, whatever their political affiliation. As far as policing is concerned, that is not a relevant issue. We serve everyone. Let us therefore leave here united in our resolve and with one unwavering commitment to build a police service that serves the South African people. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for taking us through that official media statement for this post-MINMEC briefing, and for taking us through the detail of the research agenda that Minister has taken us through. But interestingly is to link the venue of setting this agenda with Mpumalanga as the place of the rising sun. That indeed the sun is rising upon the policing sector, regardless of the challenges that are there, but there is a clear, firm direction of resetting policing in the country, and the Minister has gone through detail in as far as that is concerned. The speech has been sent through all the different groups that we have with our colleagues in the media. At this point in time, Minister, I think it is safe for us to take questions, if there are any, so that we can be able to proceed with the business of the day. Members of the media, let us then go straight to the questions, if we have got any. By the show of hands, we will indicate if there are any questions. Bashapu, DM. DM Bushelo Bashap. Angboni Lilaitile. There is a hand though. Let's just take that one hand, Minister, then it will be safe for us then to move to a closure. Thank you very much. You will introduce yourself and the media organization that you are representing, and then pose your question accordingly to the Minister or any of the MECs. Thank you. Over to you. We have a roving mic.
I think I will be audible enough.
You'll be audible enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to check, you spoke about matters of gender-based violence. We are now far in terms of building democracy, capacitating the forensic side of maybe dealing with those matters. When we talk about laboratories in the country, where maybe results take about 6 months to a year at some point to come back in rape cases, leading victims to be secondarily victimized What are you doing? Are you going to build more laboratories in the country? And also making sure that the issue of ballistic tests, they are also the ones that are taking time again, where courts have to maybe withdraw matters because the state asked for postponement now and again. Thank you.
So, Manda, when the president made this a national priority, he was a recognition.
Minister, may I just kindly request the minister just to be where the microphones are at in the response, just so that they, I apologize for that. Just, yeah. To where the microphones are at. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you for the question, Mandla. When the President made this a national priority, it was a recognition that on a complex social problem, we have been had a project over the last 30 years to address issues of gender-based violence. There's been a lot of legislative reform. We've set up victim empowerment centers. We've trained police officers to deal with sexual violence, adopted legislation to deal with domestic violence, and so forth and so forth. But that because this matter has deep social, familial, even cultural roots, perhaps, solutions are not easy to achieve. And that we needed to make another effort, intensify our effort, learn from what we've done well, identify policy and implementation gaps, and make another effort to get better results. So I asked Deputy Minister Dr. Cachalia to lead our initiative. At this MINMEC, the results of that work that she has led was presented by Lieutenant General Mamateti, and I think General Sentumula has also been involved in that project. We were presented with a comprehensive action plan which addresses the question that you raised around the courts, around infrastructure, and I think that is one of the reasons why I think this MINMEC has been so impactful, because in each of the areas that we focused, we were presented with detailed work, prepared over months, considered work, careful consultation, and an action plan. We were not discussing policy here. We were discussing action plans. And I think that the police leadership and Dr. Cachalia have done exceptionally well over the last few months. And I am emboldened in my hope that we are now much better placed to focus our energies on addressing gender-based violence.
Manda, I did not capture that question. I think you're soft-spoken, but...
I was saying the activities are having directly answered about, first of all, infrastructure part, and also making sure that we train more people within the SABC to deal with those matters, forensically, and also the like.
2015. Okay. On those issues that are dealing with the infrastructure, in particular on our FSL, the Forensic Science Laboratories, the Acting National Commissioner will then respond to that specific question. Then we'll then be moving towards closure. Thank you very much, Acting Netcom.
Thank you very much. All protocol is hereby observed. Indeed, the issue of expanding our labs are of a priority. You will recall that last year we launched an FSL lab in KZN. That particular lab is being expanded, in particular to focus on these issues. We are working with National Treasury in terms of establishing a contract in place to assist us to then procure the relevant equipment to expand that lab to be able to then have a footprint. We also looking at having a lab in Mpumalanga. We are partnering currently with business to ensure that we expand our footprints. In terms of issues of backlogs, when it comes to cases of GBBF, we are working closely and collaborating with NPA to deal with those particular dockets to ensure that there are no backlogs. We can confirm and give you assurance that these dockets are being prioritized. And when it comes to backlogs on GBBF, those dockets are not having such problems. We do have rape kits and all the necessary DB kits to deal with these cases. So it is a priority, and the expansion is on top of our priority. Currently, we are also looking at work that we are doing in Mpumalanga, and hopefully in the near future we will have a lab in Mpumalanga. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Acting National Commissioner for that response in that particular question. We are now at 11:42, and I have indicated earlier on, members of the media, that we had to move our starting time a bit earlier just to be able to handle other logistics, which then will make me to conclude the media briefing at this particular point in time. But there is a request that we noted earlier on that we will be affording the Minister just a very quick live one-on-one with a specific media house. But other than that, thank you very much, members of the media, for your continued support and for always being here whenever we are affording an opportunity to speak to the nation. With that, Minister, the Deputy Ministers, the MECs, all protocol is observed. Thank you very much for this media briefing. And ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you. The media briefing is adjourned. Thank you very much. This one. Yeah, let's go outside.